how can you help your player deal with refs? One of the most common responses I get when I ask players how their game went is the refs were horrible. And I get that a lot, and they use it to blame them when they don't do well. But what I don't hear a lot is when they win games. They're not talking about the referees. So there has to be a balancing act. That kind of leads me to my first point. If you don't talk about the refs when you win, you shouldn't talk about them when you lose. So do not blame the refs. It shouldn't be a crutch that you fall on if referees end up making calls that you don't like. You have to kind of push them to the side. And I'm going to talk a little bit of how you can do that, but don't blame refs. And again, you're going to have adversity go against you, especially if you're a player listening to this. You're going to have stuff that happens in the game, and you need to be able to deal with that adversity. So if you're a parent and your player is prone to argue with the referees or just lose it when referees miss calls, you need to help them to realize that adversity is going to come. How are you going to respond to it? Recently, I had players who told me about how refs were missing some pretty egregious calls. And I agree with them because I was actually at the game watching them. But what I didn't like was their body language and how they responded to it. And I talked to them about it, that adversity is going to come. Things aren't going to go your way. How are you going to deal with it? And so if you're a parent listening to this, encourage your player. How do we respond to that, right? It's fine that you feel the emotions. It's fine that you can be angry about the injustice of what just happened, but how are you going to respond and help your team in a way? Arguing with the referees may make you feel better. I talked about that last week, but it's not going to be able to help your team in the meantime. So understand that adversity is going to come, and you cannot blame the refs, because when you win the game, you're not saying that win was because of what that referee did. No, you talk about, we made a great play, we did extremely well. And that's the same thing if you guys are losing. That leads me to my next point, which is it will all even out in the end. And I know a lot of people don't believe that, or they think, oh, sure, whatever, Taylor. But it's really true. Refs are human, and they don't want to feel like they decided the fate of the game because of a PK or a missed call. They want players to do well. They want players to be able to figure out, I made calls on both sides, and this is the team that ended up winning. So it's going to even out. They're going to miss some calls, absolutely, that you think that they should make. They also may make some calls that might be borderline or questionable if you look back on it and you kind of have an impartial view of what just happened. So this is to the players. Instead of getting so caught up in the ref missed this call and arguing and saying how terrible and awful it is, instead say this phrase to yourself: it's all going to even out. Let me stay in the game. Next play. Internalize that logic, and because it really takes the focus off of the referees and turns it back onto the game. So understand that they're going to try, sometimes unconsciously, to be able to even out the calls and the fouls and the cards and PKs and significant stuff like that. So understand it's going to even out. Hey, real quick, wanted to let you know about my off the field resource guide. These are the resources that I use for to help players in our training program to be able to grow their mental game, grow their confidence, grow really their consistency on and off the field. So if this is something that you want your player to have, go ahead. You can download it for free at tfsoccertraining.com/mindset. Okay, back to the show. Finally, I want to kind of bring it home here. Again, I said before in point number 2 here that refs are humans. And what do we all want? We all want respect. We want people to be able to treat us in a respectful manner. We want to feel like when we make a point that someone is listening and giving us good attention and responding to our questions or our points. So respect and courtesy goes a long way when you are talking to refs. When we are talking to refs and when we approach them in a manner that is respectful and that is giving them their due, You say it in a way where you understand, like, I understand your job. I understand that you have a lot of things going on, that you're trying to watch for a lot of different things. But this is what's going on that you may have missed. And that's it. Just let them know what they may have missed, and give them awareness about it, and then move on. Don't keep talking to them. Don't keep chirping to them. Don't say every little thing is a foul. I end with this point. Everybody wants to be respected. Refs want to be respected. Show respect. And again, if these refs, some of them are grown adults, put them in another situation. Would you talk to your teacher that way? Would you talk to your coach that way? Some of the behavior, some of the things that I hear older players saying to referees is downright disrespectful. And I just truly believe that players wouldn't do that outside of the realm of competition. So let's not do it within the realm of competition. Show them respect. And I'm not putting myself above anybody in this situation. I have times in games where I still get upset and I still am angry and I say things to refs in a disrespectful manner. But overall, my tune has changed a lot from when I was a younger player. And I just wish that I understood that refs will respond to the respect that you give them. So if you give them respect, if you go to them and let them know this is exactly what's going on, just please watch out for it, and then you move on, they will usually at least listen to you. And that's all you can ask for. So go ahead, try to do those 3 things, and just please remember that in the end, refs don't decide the game. In the end, you as a player decide the game, or if you're a parent and you're listening to this, help your players to understand refs don't decide what's going to happen. Only your player can decide what happens out there on the field.